I really don't appreciate the censoring because, like, we're nothing without each other. We got to have conversations to be able to build, you know?
Right. The point that I brought up with CLOCKSYN is that if you were to just remove meat off the table, do we necessarily have enough of the other things to feed the global population?
So you're saying for someone who meditates, it could actually physically help their physical health, like by meditating?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like if you have.
For me, it's like letting go has probably been the best thing that's ever happened to me, because instead of me looking for the guru, I end up finding the guru in me.
It's going to be a byproduct of helping everyone else. Because when you help yourself, you're able to help other people. We're able to build together. It's going to feel like, dang, I just got to this new level, and now I got to deal with this, now I got to deal with this, and it's going to keep stacking on constantly. Use that as your pillar of strength to be like, wow, since these challenges are getting stronger, it must mean I'm getting stronger. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there, because the universe only gives you what you're prepared to handle. So even if something feels like it's impossible, it's only impossible in your mind. And so a lot of the important things that you guys want to realize when building is that no matter how grand the idea is, no matter how many people you have, it has to always start from yourself. Because if you don't get yourself right, you're not going to be able to build with somebody else.
See, that's because everybody know that, you know, the government coming after people when you talk too much.
Yeah. I mean, if nobody talks about it, then I mean, you know, it's gonna stay the same.
You know, CLOCKSYN, and I already told you this, but you were the person who inspired me to start writing my book. So I can focus and all of that, but you were the one who showed me in the midst of calamity and confusion and drama and chaos and all that shit, that's where all of your best work, or most of your best work, will come from.
People need dramatic examples to shake them out of apathy, and I can't do that as Bruce Wayne. As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible. I can be everlasting. What symbol?
CLOCKSYN. CLOCKSYN.
What up, CLOCKSYN?
Soul Fam, CLOCKSYN.
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 The CLOCKSYN sound like you need to come up.
CLOCKSYN coming up next.
Hi, CLOCKSYN.
Yo, CLOCKSYN. Peace to the Universal family. My name is CLOCKSYN.
I don't regret this. You know, I used to regret the decisions that I made because I didn't understand where they would put me. But now I'm glad I don't understand. You know, I'm glad that my life is a empty canvas and I get to write whatever I want into that canvas to make it my future, you know?
Welcome to the CLOCKSYN podcast.
Peace to the Universal family. Welcome back to the CLOCKSYN podcast. I'm your host, CLOCKSYN. And today we have a very special episode, another interview for y'all. Okay, we got the legendary Toni La Morenita. Okay. And I want to introduce her, and then I want her to introduce herself. All right. So she's a very special person. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Not only is she a poet, but she's an artist, and you're also like a fashion model in a way. I be seeing you on Instagram, you be doing your fashion thing, and you also got like some activism things you're doing. So without further ado, y'all, I want y'all to give a big round of applause for my friend Toni here. How you doing?
I'm doing good, CLOCKSYN. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah,
So yeah, I guess I'm a woman who wears many hats. I guess you can do a lot of things. I guess first and foremost, you know, I'm known as a Blackxican rap princess. That's at the forefront of what I love to do. I'm a bilingual poet, rapper, artist, whatever you want to call it. Music is my passion. Rap is my passion. Other than that, I do some modeling things on the side. I have a passion for like streetwear and like working with that specifically like, you know, like I always admired high-end fashion brands, but I feel like we don't have to be, doesn't have to be like Eurocentric to be considered high fashion. So I love doing like hood, I call it like hood high fashion.
So it don't gotta be Balenciaga. Like that.
Look.
Okay.
So and then yeah, I do some activism stuff. I don't really like to call it activism because I feel like I feel like it's just, it is activism, quote unquote, but it's just like being a normal human being and caring about people. And unfortunately, that's not the normal for a lot of people. So, I work as a program coordinator, because us artists got to have a regular 9 to 5, until we make it. But my 9 to 5 is working as a program coordinator, helping build and support programs in like the South Central, Inglewood, Compton, Gardena area for the youth, for Black and Brown youth specifically, to help quote unquote at-risk youth stay out of trouble. And they see the gold tooth, they think I'm dope, and I really try to ride on that and help like spread positive messages. So that's a spill about me.
That's inspiring as hell. Okay. So what's your, like, where are you from? What's your origin story? How did you get to, where you at
Oh
now?
gosh, so let's see. So there's a lot to say. I'm from a lot of places because I'm an Army brat. My father was in the military, but going back to my roots, my mother has roots from the South, like Georgia, North Carolina area. My father's family has roots from Mexico. So, behold the Blackxican rap princess. I grew up in the Bay Area. I spent a lot of my life there. And when people think Bay Area, they think like San Jose, Oakland. And I did spend time there, but where I grew up was like this little town. It's called Watsonville, and it's literally where all most of the strawberries everywhere come from. It's like a largely immigrant, like farm working, like field working town, very humble town. So there, and then and I moved to LA about like 6-7 years ago. And to be honest, I'll probably, like, not to be morbid, but I always tell people like I'm likely gonna die here, like in the dirt. I found like a real home. I don't get me wrong, I got love for my Bay Area, but it's just something special. It's something special about South Central,
Nah, I hear that. LA, I didn't really appreciate LA until I left. And I was like, damn, you know what? LA is that place. Now I see why people like it so much. It is that place. Because I was born and raised here, but I didn't see the magic till I had to leave. So, okay. So you started from there. So how did you get into music then? How did you get into like that whole arena? Was you always doing it as a child, or something happened? How did you get into that?
So, so growing up in like poverty, dealing with a lot of shit, like, I tell people this. My father, I was born when he was like 17, just turning 18. We were poor. He joined the army so we could eat, type shit. And we really had some trials and tribulations, and I feel like he's always like been a positive person. I get a large part of my personality from my father. And he was always like trying to distract me and keep my head on, like in the midst of all the crazy shit going on. And one of the ways he did that was through music, through like hip hop and rap culture. He was always blasting some shit regardless of what was going on. And I felt like that gave me my positive mindset, and it showed me that I could fuel like pain into my passion for the game. And so I've always been, this is my first year working on music ever, like getting into the studio.
Wow.
Right. I'm a baby in these streets. I'm a baby in the game. But, I've always, since I was like 4 or 5 years old, I've been writing poems. But it's the type of shit where, I just write and recite to my teddy bears in my room, like, da-da-da.
Yeah.
So, and that type of thing. But this is the first year that I actually got into a studio. And so my sound is very experimental right now. But I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying that process. And I don't even think that I like to be boxed in. So I'm just having fun with it. And we're just going to see where it goes.
See, that's wild you said that, because looking from the outside, if you would have told me that, I would have never guessed it's your first year. Like the way you just kicking things off, you got freaking music videos and all the things you're doing. No one would have thought this is your first thing. I guess you're like the example of what they say. I've worked my whole life for this. Like your past is built up all the way up to this moment. So now that you're actually doing it, you kicking it off running. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, that's huge. All right, so I really want people to get your energy, because like I love what you're saying, and like personally, like when we met, we ended up meeting at Lamar Park, and as soon as we met, it was like that instant click of energy. You know, we started chopping it up about a bunch of stuff, and I was like, yeah, damn, this girl really, she's a real person. You know what I'm saying? I don't meet too many people like that, so I want people to definitely get to know like the type of things you are interested in and whatnot, and things like your message. You know what I'm saying? So, but before we get to that, like as far as more on the music, who's like your favorite artist? What type of stuff do you like listen to? You say you listen to growing up, right?
I have like, I mean, anybody who really loves music will just, you know, we listen to a lot of different languages. Man, that's so hard. I have so many, but I feel like some of my quote unquote favorites are the ones who like I really grew up on, like Tupac, like A Tribe Called Quest, or something.
The OG.
Like I really have a love like Nas, like that like mid to late 90s, early 2000s, like hip hop R&B era. Like that's really my shit, yo. Like let's see, Bone Thugs and Harmony, and man, so many.
Okay.
There's so many, but that's the type of shit that I'm on most of the time. Like I listen to a lot of music, but when you ask me like what am I listening to, like 24/7, that's the type of shit I'm on.
Gotcha. Okay. So another question about the whole like, because I be seeing you move. I see you on your Instagram and your events and stuff. You're a very people person. I don't know if it's like that all the time, but like you can instantly, you know what I'm saying, click with somebody. So what are some of the secrets you can share with us to being able to network with people like that? Like anytime somebody pull up and you're like, yo, what's up? It's like the energy is good. I see that. Like even when we met, what was like your first impression of me when we pulled up with each other?
My first, it's not gonna be what you want to hear, but my very first impression, without any filter or anything on it, my first thought was, this nigga's hungry.
That's weird because I didn't eat that morning. I was fasting on purpose.
I know, because look, let me give him a little tiny brief backstory. I know we don't have time, but I met him while we were waiting at a bus stop, and I had some vegan cauliflower wings from the joint in Lemur Park, and he was looking at I saw you look at my wings, but look, as from one nigga who's been hungry most of my life to another nigga who's hungry, like I was like, damn, he probably wants some. So I just asked, like, do you want some of my wings? And you were like, oh, bet. Like, you know.
Because I was looking for those wings the entire day there. I couldn't find them. I had to settle for some like Jamaican food that I didn't really want.
Yeah.
I was looking for the wings the whole time. Like, she got the wings. The vegan wings I've been looking for. That's why I was eyeballing them. Okay.
Drew me to you though is like I didn't know how you were gonna receive that. I don't know if you would be offended. I don't know what, but like your response was so, I could tell there was hesitation for a moment, but your response was so honest. You were like, yeah, like okay. And I feel like just from that one thing, like I peep a lot of shit. And like we can go into it another time about like my personality and how I pick up on like small little things, but like just you being honest, like yeah, I'm hungry. Like I was like, okay, this is like an honest person, like who could, you know, he just tells, you know, he wears his honesty on his sleeve. He don't gotta, you know, especially I wouldn't even say LA and do LA like that, but just as a human society in general, like a human race, like I feel like especially nowadays with social media, people are too cool to admit when they're hungry or when they're tired, or when, you know, they're just so much bullshit. So little shit like that means a lot to me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be rocking with this person for a long time.
Nah, I feel that. I feel the same way. Like real recognize real, you know.
Yeah.
I can instantly tell when somebody's being fake.
Yeah.
Off rip. I try to eliminate myself from those people, but okay.
But so to get into your question, you said how do I like navigate those spaces, like networking and keep my energy up? Or
yeah, because like my following question is gonna be, because like I know you have this group called the Dogpound. We're gonna get into that. So, but how you doing so many things? How are you able to have? Because a lot of people want to do those things, but it's like I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to network. So how are you doing all that? I see people around you 24/7 around the clock. You got it going.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like, okay, so to answer the one part of the question, like how you know what? I think bottom line is I can't even take full credit. I feel like I have done work in the South Central community for years now. Like since I touched down, I've been in the community. I've been like putting my hands in wherever I can get it, just out of sheer passion and love for the youth and for the community. And I feel like although I never ever respect like a return on it. I don't see it as an investment. It's just what I'm doing, like because I love to do it. But I feel like when you do things and when you show up for people in the most real and genuine way, whenever you have something that you're passionate about, the people that you have helped in the past are just naturally going to want to like come around and support you. And yeah, you know, like I feel like, for example, I've been to so many events where people are like feeling some type of way about throwing an event and nobody shows up. And it's like, where my people at? Well, the question is, are those really your people? Like, are you hanging around those people just waiting to get a return on an investment? Or like energy is big. I've always been like a very genuine, authentic person. And I don't surround myself with people who I don't feel like would support me, because what's the fucking point, to be quite frank with you? So I could give you a list of this and that, but really at the end of the day, it's just being genuine and showing up as who you really are. And then like eventually you sort of like are like a magnet, so you start like attracting, you know, what you are. So I feel like I could give you a lot of answers, but that's basically it. Like I just so happen to know some really fucking phenomenal people with really big hearts who are willing to help me. Because I mean, we'll talk about the Dogpound, but I'm excited to talk about that, because when I tell you I had $0, -$dollars in my bank account, and I made that whole shit pop off, woof.
Yeah. Nah, y'all, she's telling 100% truth. Like, facts. I saw with my own eyes. I pulled up to that event. She's like, dang, I'm surprised you came. I'm like, yeah, I had to support. All of a sudden, 2 people came. 5 more people came. By the end of the night, y'all, that store was packed. I couldn't even walk around. She had the whole block just packed with all her homies. I'm like, dang, she really did that. So she's right, y'all. When you be genuine, when you just actually real, people love that. People are attracted to that type of energy. So that's 100% facts. Okay, so yeah, let's get into it. What is the Dogpound? Like, what is that?
The Dogpound is a black and brown cipher, heavily inspired by my father's love for hip hop and my upbringing in like the late 90s, early 2000s. You know, I said I had it rough, but like hip hop, rap was always there for me. When I didn't have a hot meal, rap was there for me. When I didn't, you know, like when I didn't have a bed to call my own for so many years, like Biggie was there for me. Like, so it's a rap cipher, and I don't want people to be mistaken. Yes, it is like competition just out of sheer appreciation and respect for like the game. Because competitiveness is naturally a part of the rap game, the rap culture. So it's partially that, but what it's really meant to do is to highlight upcoming black and brown artists in the community. Like, I know this is like some back end stuff, but just to get into it really quick, I know I had upset some people who wanted to enter the competition who already got like 20K followers, 30K followers. They already got some momentum, and it's like respectfully to you. And that's not to say that if you have a lot of followers you can't join, but it's just to say that I'm trying to do something different than what's already done, because there are so many rap ciphers in LA. You find them everywhere. But the difference is, I feel like I've noticed a pattern of gatekeeping and a pattern of like, oh, if you don't have this many followers or you not this, like, nigga, who are you? Like, that shit don't matter. At the end of the day, that's whack, because that's not real rap culture. Rap culture says that you can show up in a fucking tattered t-shirt that you've been wearing for fucking 4 months with no food, with, you know, with no money in your pocket. You could just show up and just like give it your all. And that's really part of the culture that I'm trying to like resurface and renew. And also the intention is to like sort of bridge the gap between these 2 generations of rap that we have, because I feel like a lot of times, like, whether it be like ego or misunderstanding or a little bit of fucking both, like it causes a separation, and I feel like there's a middle ground where we can meet. So yeah, the Dog Pound is it's meant to do that, and it's inspired by my father's love for rap and hip hop, but it's inspired by his love for the Dog Pound. I don't know if you're familiar with the group The Dog Pound. It's
No.
Are you familiar with the Dog Pound?
I never heard of it.
Oh
The first
yeah,
time I heard it was from you.
I'll send you some stuff, but yeah, it's comprised of two phenomenal fucking rappers who really contributed to the game, Daz Dillinger and Corrupt. And together they make the Dog Pound, but that's a whole nother. I'm gonna send you some stuff because my father has really deep love for the Dog Pound, and so yeah, I love the group. I love my father, you know, how inspired he was by them, and I just love I love the name with the movement. Like, I'm never trying to, you know, hopefully one day we could get a lot of funding and do this and that, but I'm really okay with it being like a little den or like a little tiny space, because that really elevates, like, you know, like that rap
Underground Railroads. Yeah. The underground, that's real though. Okay. How did it start? Because like you said, so it's like a year old basically. It's brand new.
Oh, it's not even a year old. I say it's when I tell you
crazy.
This is so I've had that. I guess you could say it originated when I was like 5, technically, because I would sit up rapping in my room, and I used to like try and rap with some boys at school, and they would never let me because I was a girl. So yeah, so I'd be like, I would write raps and I'm like, "What you mean, nigga?" I'm like I was really young, and I used to write raps and pretend that we were battling in my room, just like with my stuffed animals and whatnot. And so I never thought too much of it. I just sort of tabled it. And then about like 6-7 months ago, I was like, you know, I should really just start that shit. Like, and I, mind you, it wasn't even supposed to be anything big like it's turning out to be. It was just supposed to be a club, a group, a little tiny function that meets together. And, you know, I was gonna raise, like, still do the $200 for the cash prize. Oh, I missed out on that too, y'all. The top dog, it's 8 contestants. You got 60 seconds to spit. And the winner, the top dog, gets like some doggy tags and $200 in cash. So yeah, 6-7 months ago, I hit my homegirl up and I was like, damn, I really want to do this. And her name is Darlene Bonilla, but she's like literally the creative director behind everything and my main investor in everything. Because when I tell you I had no money, I said, how am I gonna do this? Like, I don't have the $200. I don't have a venue. I don't have this and that to buy merch and all this stuff. And that's where real fucking love and real community come in, because she just
said, believe in you.
Right. She said, I got you. Like, if the money's a problem, I got you. Like, and that was really hard for me, you know, because I don't know, those of us who have trauma around borrowing money and having that shit like thrown back in your face. So it took me a little while to come around to it. But I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to block my blessings, and like, this is a very good friend of mine, so I trust her. So lo and behold, like, she had the money, I had the ideas, we came together, and a lot of those ideas she helped me out with. She's in charge of she actually shot the Dog Pound video for my intro. So
for real?
Yeah, so shout out to real one. Shout out to Darlene Bonilla.
Okay, yeah, y'all, that's real, because personally, y'all, I don't really be going to too many other people's events, especially if I don't know them like that. So this just shows that if you real, you can attract all the right people, you know. Like, personally, it's a lot of other people that be like, CLOCKSYN, pull up. I'm like, bro, I barely even know you. We don't really rap like that. So I'm like, But with Toni, it was just something. I don't know. It was something about her. I was like, you know what? I want to see what she got going on. First, show me about the first event. I pulled up to it. And then I found out she was doing something in Lamar Park. I'm like, I'm going. You know, I don't care if I got to pay this. It's the energy. You know, that's what means most to me. The relationships in general, that's like, if it's rock solid, I'm there. So that's 100%. You know,
and
a lot of new artists can learn from that.
I think that's one of the things that I love. Like, not to be, I mean, of course I'm biased because it's me, but I feel like that's one of the things that I love too. Like, I really don't pop out like a lot simply because, you know, of energy. Like, I'm very, very protective of my energy. Like, a lot of people who throw events, maybe their intentions are good, but the people that they have around them is not very good. And then, you know, even just by like the way people look at you, like you're dirt, like on the bottom of
Yeah.
the, when they don't even know you, when you're a whole human being who got a whole story. And it's like, I don't rock with anybody who is like that, or anybody who would associate with anybody's like who's like that. So I feel like people feel some sort of like safety and solace in coming to my events because they know that it's, you know, we can't control everybody who come in, but just know if you're that type of nigga, you're the odd one out, and we gonna be looking at you crazy because
Right.
that's not how we do things. Like, I was raised a certain way, and you just can't disrespect people that you have no clue about.
That's a fact. No, the energy was straight. But both events I went to, energy was solid. I was like, okay, yeah, this is cool, y'all. So okay. With the dog pound though, so you said you had the idea, you got it together. Who were like some of the founding members of it? And like, cause you said it ain't even been out for a year, and you were already boom. You know what I'm saying? A lot of new artists can learn from you. Like, y'all, listen to what she's saying.
Yeah.
Once you have that drive, you connect with the right people, you can take off. So like, but how'd you form it?
So right off the bat, I would say my father, because it started with me and my father, because when I first thought, like 7 or so months ago, like, oh, how I'm going to do this, da 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 da, like, how would it even go, like, who would even judge, like, all that stuff. I'm like, who can I call? My father. It's where the idea originated. He has such a love for hip hop and rap, and I just wanted more history. I wanted to know, like, what were you listening to, what was going on, like, during this time, because, you know, I was a baby, so I only have my own version. So I wanted to pull inspiration from that. So I'd say my father, because countless times I called him, like, who were your favorites? Like, what was going on in rap during that time? Like, so him, definitely on the like ideas portion of it. And then I would say after that, when I brought it up to my friend Darlene Bonilla, who's the creative director, it's heavily like here's me and then here's her, like right there.
Got you.
She's the backbone, because not only did she invest her time, she invested money, she created we're on some old school OG like auntie type shit. Like, she went to the CLOCKSYN mall and printed out, you know, those sweaters, the doggy sweaters.
Yeah.
She went to the CLOCKSYN mall and printed out those sweaters.
Wow.
With her own money. She got a camera and a crew. Shout out to Yen. I would say Yen is another one, because Yen helped with a lot of the filming. And Yen was the DJ at my release party as well. So like, every time I need something musically, yeah, that's Yen. Every time I need something like creative director or styling, that's Darlene. And let's see. Oh, and then so I was like, okay, I got the video portion, I got the music portion, I got the ideas. I need someone who could help connect me to a venue, to the community, because especially the way Los Angeles moves, and I completely respect it. It's like, if you're not from here, what the fuck you talking about? A lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
You know, luckily I have quote unquote paid my dues. I've been like getting my hands dirty in the community, so I had that. But I needed someone who could help me find a venue with like, we could have done it at a park or I wouldn't have cared, but I really wanted the first one to have that rap essence. So I wanted it to be somewhere where rap culture was like prevalent. So I reached out to my homegirl Amaya, and she has crazy ties to the community, but the right ones, like where like the type that I'm looking for. So she runs shit at her room coffee in the Park. And I had this idea, like, I thought it would really be fucking dope, because I'd seen them do some shit there before. and I seen some like rap heads around there. So I just felt like the energy. That's really what I was looking for. I want historic energy that's been there already, like where the rooms have been filled, like regardless of if crazy amount of people show up. I just want that. And I'm huge on energy, as you know by now.
I can tell.
Right. So I reached out to her and I felt like that was like the last missing piece that I needed. She talked to Chase over at her room, got it set up with Dana and their people, and yeah, she helped set that up. And then I'd say last but not least, I would say Lonnie with T2K Productions. He was like another. I needed like one more investor. Like didn't have the bread, yo. Like
yeah, I know how that feels.
This was like completely community funded. Like so he donated his time and like was mentoring me for a little moment with like things that I needed. So shout out to Lonnie. But all that to say, you don't need a huge ass crew. On the flip side, it's probably in your best interest to keep your team as small as you can. Like, don't overwork your team. Like, I'm definitely going to be needing like interns, assistants. There's little things that I don't want Darlene and Amaya to have to be doing after, I'm learning from the first one. It was too much, just little shit. But if you keep it small and keep it family that you can work with, because there's certain family that you cannot do business with. So make sure it's like people who are already in the game who you trust, because it's like when there's money involved and there's like so many different things involved, you need people that you can trust at the end of the day. So I'm just the type of person, like, we're not getting paid for this right now. We're doing it off the strength, but eventually when we do get funding, I'm gonna want to like pay my people, the people that I love and trust and who have been rocking with me. So yeah, because with anybody else, if it was someone I didn't trust, I would have heard a long time ago, like, oh, where my money at? Like, yeah. I did this, and that. And that's the energy that we don't need.
Facts. It ain't genuine. Okay, so you said the listening party, though. How did that go? Like, how did you come up with that? Your EP? Like, could you talk about that for a little bit?
Oof, yeah. So backtracking. So my EP, it releases on June 30th. It's called Real Thug Show Love. And the inspiration came to me when I was about like a year and a half or maybe 2 years ago, when I was living in a homeless shelter for pregnant women at the time. I was with child at the time. And then, fast forward, and I had lost my child. I was still living in the homeless shelter. I was feeling all types of way, yo, like in the negative, very angry, very lacking sort of like spirit, that I just so many negative, all the negative emotions you could think of. That's what I was feeling like. So sorry, someone messing with me. They taking out the trash. Anyway, so I remember I had lost my child, and I had I had a friend, and she had been holding me down, yo. So I had thought she had been holding me down, like seeing me through the pregnancy, her family, like she let me rent one of the rooms out of her bedroom. And I ended up going into the homeless shelter because after I lost the child, she was just like, I guess, I don't know what you could call it. Like, I call her my spiritual enemy, not to be like super dramatic, but when you think someone's your friend and then you start to pay attention and they're just getting down on you and bring you down and down and down. And you're just like, why are they talking to me like this if they're my friend?
You don't realize it until it's too late. I definitely have one of those.
Yeah.
Well, I had. Yeah.
So I had done this thing, and it was very new for me, like confronting her with like boundaries. And I thought to myself, like, I'm scared. Why am I scared to set the boundary? Because I already know what it's going to come with. So I had set a boundary, and I was like, yo, I need some space because I've already been through such and such, and you bringing me down. It just got worse after I set that boundary. So I said, okay, I need to remove myself. But that made me so angry because, like, I had trusted this person so much, and I had been so vulnerable, and she had seen like the worst of my worst of me, and she had decided to put me down. So I was just, all that to say, I was in a very angry state when I got to the shelter. I was very angry, and I was sitting on the bed, and I was just writing, and it wasn't a song, it was just a poem. Like, I was pissed off, yo. It was like, the first line was beady beady bom bom, tu si eres dumb dumb, heard you talking about me, girl, you better run run, because she had been talking about me, like about my personal shit, and that really pissed me off. So if you listen to my song La Calle, those are the those are the first lines of my song. So it's 4 songs. That first song, you can hear the energy. It was just angry. I was venting. I was getting it out. As it progresses, and by the 4th song is peaceful, and that's literally like a testament to my journey. Like, starting off in the homeless shelter, getting out of the homeless shelter, and finding a place of peace. And the whole thing is dedicated to Black and brown, like, women, largely because they're the ones who lifted me up. Like, it was a Black woman who let me into her home when I had nowhere to go, let me sleep on her couch for 8 months. It was a brown woman who, like, mentored me through, like, the mental despair of, like, losing a child, and so on and so forth. All these amazing Black and brown women. So yeah, it's called Real Thugs Show Love because I realized, like, bearing a child, like, oh, gangster is not having guns. Gangster is not stealing and lying and cheating and wearing this and wearing that and wearing chains. A real gangster gives birth and cares for a child. A real gangster, like, puts on for their community and puts the youth on to what's what, and is honest and caring, and all these negative stigmas that we have about what a gangster is. Going through all that shit and being broken down to my worst made me realize, like, yo, we got it fucked up in this game. We got it real fucked up. So yeah, there you have it. Real Thugs Show Love.
God damn, yeah, okay. Toni, you're inspiring as hell. I want you to know that. Like, all those words really resonated with me. I know they resonated with y'all listening. Wow. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. So I always do this with all of my guests on the CLOCKSYN podcast. All right. All the things that we've said and we've talked about in your entire life journey, what is one message you want to tell the people? Like, or even more specific, like, if it's just one person watching right now, you know, and they might be 16, 17, 18 or older, and they, like, well, what do you want to tell that one person? They might be going through something. What is your message to that one person?
Oof, there's a lot. I would say, if time was short and I had one thing to say, it would just be, ultimately, like, you are enough. Like, you don't, and I know that sounds mad, corny, or general, but I'm saying that because a lot of times we're in a negative mindset about a situation because we feel like we're waiting for somebody else to support us, or we're waiting for somebody else to believe in us, or we're waiting for our environment or this and that. Oh, when I get a little bit of bread, I'll be worthy. When I get a solid living situation, I'll be worthy. No, you're worthy now. It might be hard. You might have to hold it down on your lonesome for a minute. And I know how it's lonely to be going through some shit, some really dark shit, and have no one. But listen, you just hold yourself down for a little bit. You work on yourself. You love yourself. You love yourself. You love yourself. And that can be hard to do. But you love yourself until you find people who see that same thing that you see in yourself. You wait, and you don't fuck with phonies, you don't fuck with frauds, you don't fuck with people who would do anything bad to hurt you. And it might be lonely, but in the long run, it'll be so worth it. And I just want to say, like, you know, you're not alone, and this isn't going to be forever. Like, just take it one day at a time, 1 minute at a time if you fucking have to. But just know that there are people who will see you and who will love you for where you're at right now. Not tomorrow or 5 years when you got the bread that you want or whatever. Like none of that shit matters. Like you're valued as a person right now, regardless of where you're at. So that's what I would say.
There we have it, y'all. There we have it. Okay. Anything you want to say before we wrap it up? That was beautiful, by the way. Damn, I'm starstruck from that. Tell the people like your social medias, where they can reach you, where they can find you, and also what you have coming next.
Okay, so you can reach me at Toni La Morenita, ToniLaMorenita. For now, I just really got Instagram. My people are on me. I'm trying to get better about that.
Yeah, you got to be everywhere.
For now, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Spotify, most music streaming platforms. What I got going on, Real Thug Show Love, it premieres June 30th, out everywhere. The Dogpound, we just had our first Cypher 2023 at Haroon Coffee in Leimert Park. We got another one. If you're a talented, passionate, like freestyle artist and you feel like you could win Top Dog, you can find us at the Dogpound LA, TheDogPound LA. We're gonna open up submission in like a few weeks again for the second one. So yeah, that's what I got going on. I got a lot of new music coming out too. I'm about to just start doing features left and right because I really love just to create. So stay on the lookout. I mean, that's me, Toni La Morenita, the Blackxican rap princess. That's it.
All right. Anybody else you want to shout out before we close out?
Oh man, I want to shout out to Def Sound, really good homie and artist, musician, everything. Wears many hats too of mine. We just share such a deep spiritual connection. He literally just helped me to make it so that I own the rights to my royalties, which is huge. If you know anything about music, that's huge. And I don't know nothing about this shit. I'm a baby. So just having someone looking out for me like that. Man, just shout out to everyone in the community holding it down. Shout out to artists who are trying to make a way. Just stay authentic. And you'll be all right.
All right, y'all. There you have it. I just want to personally give you a thank you for coming on my podcast. You know, I definitely need to hear this. And I appreciate your wisdom and inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is big. I really appreciate you coming on here. I know you're a busy woman, so this is big. All right. But thank y'all. This was officially the interview for Toni. And yeah, this is the CLOCKSYN podcast. Thank y'all for tapping in. If y'all like her, we'll try to get her back on here if y'all love this. All right. So y'all let me know. And yeah, love y'all. Peace and love.